Wheels up, we're heading to Dallas, Texas for the 2021 Note Expo. Find out what we learned, who missed their flights, and how much fun we had next on the Paper Stack Podcast. Hey, welcome back to the Paper Stack Podcast. Rick Allen, Brett Burky here, fresh off the plane.
Yeah.
From Note Expo. We want to do a Note Expo recap. Note Expo 21, Dallas, Texas, at the Hilton, the airport Hilton. Embassy Suites by Hilton.
The north one, not the south one, in case you got lost on your way there.
Yes.
There's two. There's two Embassy Suites in Grapevine.
The one right by the big Bass Pro Shop.
I didn't get to go.
No.
I got a hat, though, thanks to Daniel Singer. So thanks, Daniel. Yeah, so my daughter stole it as soon as I got home.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it was, we want to do a little recap. It was great. There was tons of stuff there, tons of people. First one I've been to in person again, big conference where everybody kind of showed up, showed out. I know they had been probably cracking the 600 person mark in the year, in 2019. Last year in 2020 was virtual, but this year they had like 400 or over 400 people.
There was a lot of people.
There was a lot of people, and it was
good. It was a good turnout. I was impressed. Wow, they really did it. And I mean, the room was huge for the event.
Oh, it was they needed it.
Yeah.
They needed a big room. It was
a big room.
So we want to start by saying thank you to Eddie Speed, Bob Repass, Joe Varnador, everybody there who helped put this on. MC. Yeah, I can't even try to pronounce your last name. I'll mess that one up. But
it's Polish.
It is Polish, and I don't.
She told me what it was, and I was like, oh.
So it was good though. Great event. We met some new people. A lot of new people. It was fantastic.
We had a bunch of shirts. That were there, and
yes, we did. So if you didn't get a shirt,
now they're global. They made it all the way to Israel.
They did. We are. We have. Yes, that was great.
That was cool. And so it was good. I mean, some of the things that were really neat were I like the food, and so we had a lot of good sweets. There was a lot of different sweets a couple of days, and then they had this. I guess it would be like a Spanish food, Mexican food bar. Like they had one of the days, and that was amazing. And then we got to eat. You missed it, but we went to Heart 8. It was this barbecue place and had some brisket, and gosh, that was the best brisket I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was really good. I mean, it was really unique. It was outside. It was like picnic tables, and the guys grilling it up right in front of you, like over open fire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really cool experience. It was unique. Hey, we'll go to a barbecue place, and you think the kitchen's in the back. You're in the kitchen. You're walking through, and you're like, I'll take that one and that one and that one. And they just chop it up for you right in front of you, and it was definitely cool.
So I got a slice of Texas. It was good.
Yeah, I thought I got baked beans, but I got cobbler. I went to jump.
How did you mess that up?
And it was purple. It was dark, and I was like, "Oh, baked beans. I'll get baked beans." I got baked. I was like, "I don't even want this." It was sweet, and I was like,
"Oh man,
I wanted the baked beans."
We flew in on Thursday, got in kind of early noon, and then went and we had an investor pitch because we're raising capital for people to invest in the company. So we went and pitched capital there, and then we went out to eat, and it was really cool. We got to meet some of the people who actually watch our podcast.
That was cool.
That was great. So if we did meet you, Emery, I know we met Emery, DJ.
Oh yeah, DJ.
We met DJ. There was quite a few people we met. I probably forget their names, but it was good to sit down and talk with people and say, wow, there's people listening.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. That was pretty cool. What's some other highlights of the event? I guess just hanging around with a lot of people.
Yeah, I will say this. One of the things I love about the in-person things, there's no way to get it at the virtual. Even if they have the virtual happy hours or this and that, it is the connections and the people you make outside of being in the conference. Yes, you're coming to our booth. We're going to talk to you. We're going to meet you. But I got to tell you, I met some incredible people on Thursday night before the conference even started, and it was 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we were, kind of just had been doing the Note School appreciation event and stopping in there to shake some hands and see some people. As I'm part of Note School. Went there, but then we went into the sort of the restaurant / bar at the the hotel, it was just a whole different experience. It was just another layer. A lot of people I knew, a lot of people I've done deals with. Some of my attorneys were in there, but then there was a ton of people I didn't know. And it was really, really cool to get in there and meet just a lot of different people. And what was amazing is in the room, there was everybody from people who had just got into the note business a month ago to, Jack Krupe walks in the room and he's raised a huge $500 million fund and exited it and stuff like that. So it was everything in between.
Yeah.
There was, attorneys there, the sharpest of the sharp attorneys. There were people who do, podcasts, people who have platforms. It was a really great experience. And that's what I love about the in-person.
Yeah.
That's just, you're not getting that virtually,
No.
right? You're not. There's no way what happened there, we would have ever got that virtually.
Yeah, my favorite part is being able to ask people what they like. Features you can really, when someone's describing something, you can kind of see, okay, this, you can see that it bugs them or they really want it. Oh, I wish it did this. You can tell by their facial features, like, that's something we need to fix. Or like, it would be awesome if it does this. And that's usually when I go, hold that thought. Hey, Mike, and I get Mike and I drag him over here. Like, say it again. Say it to this guy. Get it stuck in his head. Just get that lodged somewhere, and he'll have it there. And we did that a lot with the due diligence stuff. A couple of different.
A lot of the stuff that have come from the platform have come from our trips, right?
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Maybe 2 years ago there was some stuff that Sham Nua was talking about that he wished it did, and I could see Mike's wheels turning, and he's like, oh, okay, and then he finally stuff. It trickles on. It's like one of those things where you didn't even make it as a feature, like it wasn't like a feature request. It just all of a sudden Mike's like, there it is. And they just he's doing something else, and it
gets baked into the platform.
Yeah,
and it's just always looking for ways to refine. So it was good. The content that was provided by Note School. I know we had some representation up on some of the panels talking about, marketing and social media. That was great, but there's just so much content there, ranging from that to note specifics to speaking with note industry professionals, and just there was tons of different.
Yeah, no, it's good. One of the funniest things was when Fred Rui came over to our.
Oh my gosh! So Fred Rui, you should tell the story, but he apparently walks. He wanted a shirt, and so I was on a panel with Fred, and I was like, I'm going to give him the shirt and joke with him that he needs to wear the paper stack shirt on the panel. Well, I flew out Friday, and I guess Fred took it upon himself to put the shirt on and then come to our booth, our vendor booth, and start working for PaperStack and telling people all about the platform.
It was funny. It was so funny because people were just walking up, and he's doing the spiel and he's talking, and they wouldn't have known any different. But I was just dying laughing because he's like, yeah, that's just automated to-do list and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, he knows it pretty well. That's what I would have said. But
yeah, that's good.
It was just funny. He had the shirt on. He's like, these guys work for me. Like he was like talking to me and Mike. It was funny.
That's good. Yeah. So what other good stuff? There's good food.
There's good food. It sucks me and Mike missed our first flight.
Let's dive into that, Brett. Let's dive into that. So I had to leave. I had to leave because I already had a hunting trip planned in Ohio. So I got off stage and literally got onto a plane and flew out of there. And the next day, I believe I was in. What time are you supposed to fly out?
6:45.
6:45. Yeah, on Saturday. So it was like right at last hunting light, basically, like right in the magic hour when the deers really start running around. And I get a text from Brett that we may miss their flight.
Oh yeah, no.
What happened?
I don't.
Well, no. Tell me what happened.
Well,
tell them what happened. They want to know.
It says it leaves at 6:45, but I didn't know that meant like the wheels are up and they're rolling down the tarmac type thing at 6:45. So we were like, we got there at 4, and we sat there and we had dinner, and Mike ate a cake and all kinds of stuff, and we're just kind of like, we got a little bit, and we were like, when we were done, we're like, okay, let's start walking that way, and we're like, let's use the restroom. I think that if we had to use the restroom, that would have probably. We would have made it because we walked up and we're like, what does this closed mean? What's that mean closed? And the flight's gone. And I was like, no, we're here 15 minutes beforehand. What's going on? And the lady came out and she was like, oh no, I was here. And we're like, you weren't here because we were here. And we were here 15 minutes. And she's like, she kind of knew that she got caught in a lie. She kind of looked at us like, And I was like, okay. And so she gave us the other tickets. I was wanting to get out of there because there was another guy standing there going, He wasn't wearing a mask. He was, barking that he needs a cigarette. I need a cigarette. Oh, this is stressing me out. And he had been drinking a lot. And I was like, there's one of those smoking rooms over there. He's like, where? I was like, it's right over there. I'm just trying to get him to go away. And he's like, I thought this was a red state when they're trying to get him to put the mask on. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to end up on social media.
Federal FAA regulation.
I was like, give my ticket. I got to get out of here before they think we're all together.
I can tell you if I was there, I would not have missed my flight.
Well, we almost missed the second one. We almost missed.
I'm getting texts and I'm just like, oh.
I
step away from these two for 1 minute and they're missing flights and.
I was really scared about the second one. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have to go back to the hotel. I'm not staying here till like 1 a.m. And actually, I think I was the last flight.
It was the last flight.
It was the last flight. So we're like, we're not missing this one. So I'm like, we'll sit right here at this bar and we'll look at the gate. I can see it's right there. And so we're like, all right, let's go. We got enough time. And we walk over and I was like, why does that say closed? And they're like, oh, yeah, we rerouted the flight. It's now Terminal C. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh my God, please tell them that we're coming. So we had to we're running through the airport and we're getting on the train and like, oh my gosh, we're gonna miss this. And Mike's like, we're stuck. And I was like, oh no, I was so worried. But we got there right in time, just
Did they close the doors after you got on?
Yeah, we were like the last two that got on. And then we got on, I was like, thank God. But I was like, if I miss this flight again, I'll be so disappointed. I probably wouldn't have told Rick. If we had missed the second flight, I probably just would have kept that one to myself.
So proud. I'm such a proud dad. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but Note Expo overall was really good. I look forward to whatever comes up next. In the spring, there's going to be some other stuff.
Yeah, there's other stuff coming up in the spring. For those of you who we met there, can't wait till we bump into each other again. Hope it's not too long before we bump into each other again at a...
Yeah, I think the next one's going to be Paper Source, which is I've already started talking to Allison, see if that's going to happen in the spring. Because people were asking what's the next one. I was like, Paper Source. And I was like, I better make sure it's going on.
I think DME is going to be in person in the spring.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's in March.
In St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
So...
That'd be good for us. I won't miss that flight because there won't be one.
No.
Just
be driving.
Just be a drive over.
And then I think we probably will have a pretty full calendar next year.
Well, there's DME and there's IMN.
IMN's
back
a big one. Yeah. So
IMN, like the same
Fort
day.
Lauderdale.
It's like DME 2 days and then IMN the next 2 days. So it's
is IMN's in Fort Lauderdale, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it'll be fun. But I mean, overall, any of the major takeaway golden nugget of education that you got?
Not golden nugget of education. Like I said, I was Friday when I was there. I was either at the booth or I was kind of talking to people, and so I didn't get to go in and consume a lot of the education. I saw was there, and I saw who was presenting, and it was pretty good. I think the biggest takeaway for me was everybody was ready to be back. Everybody was really happy to be, obviously, if you were there, you were happy to be there. And I think everybody who went was like, this was really worth it.
It was worth it. Definitely
it was worth it. Everybody, I mean, again, if you're going to an event, what you're going to take out of it is really, in my opinion, it's the education. You always can soak up a couple nuggets, but the connections you made, some of the people we talked to, I see some pretty good things on the horizon for us. Just from the people we talked to there, some larger transactions. So for me, it was just good to be back, talking to people, shaking hands, meeting new people, building the network, reconnecting with old friends and colleagues that you hadn't seen or talked to in person in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just no, if you're in this business, it's a network business. It's who do you know?
Yeah.
PaperStack solves a lot of those problems with inventory and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you really are making connections.
Yeah, true. I did.
What about you?
I got some golden nuggets. So I forget who I was talking to, but I learned something about the CARES Act. During the CARES Act, when that was released, banks don't have to report their delinquent debt. And so there's a lot of delinquent debt that's not being reported.
Wow.
That was something that was baked into that. And with the coming moratorium lift and the fact they don't have to report what they have on the books for debt, they're gonna just kind of maybe scooch that out the back door to some larger hedge funds and eventually it will trickle down to the retail market. Something else that was telling for me was someone we were talking about how Zillow just packed up shop and said, forget this, we're done. And it's like...
Not done being Zillow. They're just done with the iBuyer.
Yeah, iBuyer thing.
But the iBuyer stuff.
And the reason why is most people are like, oh, it just didn't work for them. And what we were talking about is that they see something on the horizon because they have the data, and what they're seeing is there's going to be influx of inventory, foreclosure is going to go, and what the problem is they bought over top what the market can bear, and they paid too much, and they're going to be upside down on everything they have. And so if they're seeing that now and they're quitting and they're selling, I mean, that's not a canary in the coal mine, but maybe it is.
No, but one of the things you need to think about, and I don't know if people dive in and look this deep at it, but Zillow, yes, they provide you with some values. Yes, it's a place where you can list a house. Yes, they were doing the iBuy thing, but really, the data aggregation that they have is huge.
Because they also own Zillow and Trulia.
Yeah. So if you start looking at that stuff, you say, okay, with the amount of data they're collecting, they can start making those strategic moves to enter or pull out of a market. So those are definitely, look at the data, look what they're doing, look at the big guys. They're not.
Yeah, the forecasting. I mean, they're forecasting, and I think it might be a canary in the coal mine. I got that saying right.
You did, but if you start combining the two, right?
Yeah.
So you combine what you said about the CARES Act.
The CARES Act, the moratorium lift.
The moratorium lift, and you kind of just put and that's what we do in the note business, right? We try to put together the story from the data that's given. Well, it's no different right now. You're looking at the market. If the CARES Act, they don't have to report delinquencies. Mm-hmm. And you've got moratoriums lifting. Mm-hmm. You're going to see an increase in foreclosures, which means more supply on the market. And you've got Zillow looking at it and Zillow pulling out. Yeah, those are indicators, right?
And almost at a level that's worse than last time. So in terms of foreclosures and things, a lot of the people that are going to get foreclosed on are landlords because the renters aren't paying. And the thing is, when you go to foreclose, it's not their primary residence, so it's going to be a faster foreclosure time. Mm-hmm. So you're going to those things, like it's just kind of it's a storm brewing, and it's going to happen. And I kind of, that was kind of the sentiment that I got when I was talking to some of the bigger players in the room, like, okay, they're all saying the same thing. And if everyone's kind of saying the same thing, it's like, okay, get ready, 2022 should be interesting. So
it is going to be interesting, and it's not going to happen like once the clock strikes midnight on December 31st.
It'll be like summer.
It'll be summer, but it'll start to happen. It'll start to trickle, and I could see it bleeding into the fall, really, is because
2022, 2023, things are just unbearable. Everything's overpriced right now, not only in the housing, but everything. Everyone's making money on everything. It's like you're making money on stocks, you're making money on crypto, you're making money on hard assets, on houses. Mm-hmm. Everything's overpriced. Everyone's buying it for value and trying to write it. And just
tons of inflation. So anyways, that's not what we were here. We're here to talk about Note Expo.
I know, but that was it. I know.
So that was a good nugget of takeaway.
It wouldn't have been a podcast if I didn't go off on a tangent.
Reel him back in. I fish too. I just pull him in.
Well, yeah. Okay. Cool. Well.
So yes. So anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Are we going to wrap this up with a little video to follow up with on food and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, we'll overlay it as we're going.
Overlay it. So you're probably seeing overlays now because
there's a sandwich floating around here somewhere.
There's a sandwich floating around here somewhere too. Yeah. So, anyways, thank you again, Bob, Eddie, everybody there at Note School, Note Expo, Colonial Funding. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was a good event. Looking forward to it as next year. Mm-hmm. I do realize we have 13 pounds of little bag. We were the bag sponsor coming back.
Right.
So we have 13 pounds of bags showing up back here. So if you want a little ditty bag to throw stuff in, let us know in the comments below. And
that'd be good. We don't need that many bags.
No, my wife, I told her we had 13 pounds of those coming back. She's like, no, you don't. They're not coming here.
That's right. For Halloween, what are you handing out? Bags.
Yeah, so it was good. Anyways, Note Expo 2021, it's a wrap. It's in the books. That's the last event for the year. So stay tuned. We will have some more stuff coming up. What's on the horizon, Brett?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is on the horizon.
Thanksgiving's on the horizon.
The holidays are coming. What about for the Paper Stack podcast? What are we looking forward to?
We got
Jack Krupe interview. We got
a whole bunch of stuff. I set up a whole bunch of cool things. So we have the win, lose, and learn. That's still going on. We have a new series that's going to be happening. It's going to be the gotchas of law. I mean, so we're gonna have the different lawyers from the different states that I talked to while we were there, and we're gonna have, tell me the things that can bite you when you're buying a note in Georgia or buying a note in Florida. What's some of the things that people miss that, gotchas, and so I got all the lawyers lined up to come on. And so if you personally have a question about a certain state, let me know. We're gonna try to have it as much as we can. See if I can get Daniel Singer to represent the West Coast, but we got, Northeast and Midwest and, Southeast all kind of covered. And if you know a lawyer for some of the states out West, we want to have this because we want everyone to be able to watch those and use them as reference points. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much everything. That's what's coming for the foreseeable future.
For the what future?
Foreseeable.
The foreseeable. You got it right the second time. In a mouthful of marbles on the first one. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what we got. We'll catch you on the next episode.
See ya.